You're tuning into the deep dive. You want to get smart, fast, and today we're diving headfirst into the world of RC vehicles. Remote control.
Full throttle.
Exactly. We've gathered, well, a pretty fascinating mix of stuff here. We're looking at the serious engineering in those top-end models, but also the history, the culture around it all.
Yeah, the communities are a big part of it.
For sure. So our mission really is to pull out the most interesting, the most important bits so you get a real feel for the RC world without needing, an engineering manual.
Think of it as your quick guide.
Hmm.
We've waded through the details to give you the good stuff, the things that really make you go, huh, interesting.
Okay, let's kick things off at the high end then. We're talking RC cars, maybe $600 plus. It sounds like a lot of money for, well, what some people might still see as a toy.
It does, but the sources we looked at make it pretty clear you're getting a lot more than just a fancy shelf for that price. The jump in quality is, well, significant.
How so? What are we talking about? Like materials?
Absolutely. You start seeing things like aluminum alloy chassis, carbon fiber parts. These aren't just for looks.
Right.
That aluminum chassis, much more rigid, means the car handles way better, more precisely, especially when you push it.
Okay.
And carbon fiber, it's light, yeah, but it's also incredibly strong. It helps the car absorb impacts, survive crashes better. It's about resilience, not just speed.
So you can actually drive it hard without worrying constantly about breaking it after one bad landing.
Exactly. That seems to be a major point. These things are built to last, built to take a beating.
Unlike maybe the cheaper ones you find in, department stores.
Yeah, those might not handle rough ground or repeated jumps very well.
Yeah.
These higher-end models are engineered for that kind of stuff. Rough terrain, high speeds, big air.
And what about fixing them if something does break?
That's another key thing. Replacement parts are generally much easier to get for these better models, and they're designed to be repaired. So yeah, the initial cost is higher, but you might actually save money and definitely frustration in the long run because you're fixing it, not just, throwing it away.
Right, right. Let's talk performance then, because durability is great, but people spending that much probably want speed too.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And this is where it gets really fun. The sources highlight stuff like brushless motors, lipo batteries, that's lithium polymer, and high torque servos.
Okay, technical terms, break those down a bit.
Sure, brushless motors, super efficient, way more power, incredible acceleration compared to older brushed motors.
Gotcha.
Lipo batteries pack a serious punch, lots of power, holds it well,
Okay.
and high torque servos. That translates to really sharp, responsive steering. You feel totally connected to the car.
So all that adds up to.
Speeds easily hitting 50 miles per hour, sometimes more, rapid acceleration, tight handling. They really are, like the sources say, legit machines.
Yeah.
Much closer to a real performance vehicle experience.
Okay, so that's the high-end car scene. But RC isn't just cars, right? The stuff we looked at covered flying things too.
Definitely. RC planes and helicopters. That's a whole different dimension, literally.
Huh, yeah. A different kind of thrill, I imagine.
Completely. Piloting something in 3 dimensions through the air, it brings a unique set of challenges and different rewards.
Like what's the appeal of, say, an RC plane?
With planes, it's often that feeling of soaring, watching a carve turns against the sky. You can be relaxing, just cruising around, or super exhilarating if you're doing aerobatics, loops, rolls, that kind of thing.
I can picture that. And helicopters, they seem more complex.
They can be, yeah. But the appeal there is often the maneuverability. Vertical
Right.
takeoff and landing, hovering, flying in tight spaces. You can even fly some smaller ones indoors.
Yeah, okay.
Plus, the challenge of mastering, hovering, performing stunts. It's got a real precision element to it, a definite wow factor when you see someone skilled.
And interestingly, the sources mention some side benefits too, beyond just fun.
Yeah, things like improved hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
Definitely timing, spatial awareness, too. You really have to develop those skills to fly well.
Huh. Keeps the brain sharp.
Surprisingly engaging, yeah.
Okay, so we've got these advanced cars, planes, Helix. How did we get here? Let's rewind a bit. What's the history? How did this hobby evolve?
It's a pretty cool story, actually. The sources sort of break it down. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was mostly nitro-powered models.
Nitro, like tiny fuel engines.
Exactly, little combustion engines. And the controls were pretty basic. Analog stuff. Think simple on-off or very limited steering. The Tamiya Frog is mentioned as a classic from that kind of era.
So fun, but maybe a bit crude by today's standards.
Definitely. A world away from the precision we have now.
So when did things really start to change?
The big shift seems to be the 80s and 90s. That's when electric motors really took off, and crucially, proportional controls became common.
Proportional, meaning?
Meaning you had a range of control, not just full left or full right, full throttle or off. You could steer gently, accelerate smoothly, just like a real car.
Ah, okay. That sounds like a game changer.
It really was. Much finer control. And that's also when brands we still know today, like Traxxas and Losi, really emerged and helped popularize everything.
And then we hit the modern era. Things seem to have accelerated again.
Massively. From the 2000s onward, it's all about brushless motors and LiPo batteries. We mentioned those earlier for high-end cars. They became widespread.
Right. The efficient, powerful one.
Exactly. That combination just unlocked huge performance gains. More power, more speed, longer run times. That's what enabled crazy speeds, like over 100 miles per hour in some cars.
100 miles per hour. Wow. Any examples mentioned?
Yeah, the Traxxas X01, the Arma Infraction, these are known for pushing those kinds of limits. Yeah. Plus, 3D printing has become huge, too.
How so?
Makes custom parts, repairs, modifications much more accessible for hobbyists. You can design and print your own upgrades.
Okay. 100 miles per hour. We have to dig into that. How on earth do you make a small RC car go that fast and stay in one piece?
Yeah, it's pretty extreme engineering. Those brushless motors are key, obviously. They spin incredibly fast, sources mentioned like 50,000 RPM or more. Insane rotational speed.
Okay. Pure power from the motor. But that can't be all, right? It would just fly apart or flip over.
Exactly. Aerodynamics become absolutely critical at those speeds. You see these cars with very sleek, low-profile bodies, often made of carbon fiber or specialized composites.
To cut through the air.
Precisely. Minimize drag, maximize downforce to keep it planted. Same ideas as full-scale racing. And then there's the electronics.
Like what? Computers on board?
Sort of, yeah. Things like gyro stabilization systems, they sense if the car is starting to spin out and make tiny corrections to keep it tracking straight.
Clever.
And telemetry systems sending data back to the controller speed, battery voltage, motor temp, gives the driver real-time info.
Still, it seems like it would be hard to control and risky.
Oh, definitely. There are challenges. The sources point out you need huge open spaces, like empty airfields or massive parking lots. You can't just run these anywhere. And the stress on parts is immense. Things wear out fast, so frequent maintenance, upgrades, it's kind of part of the deal at that level. More demanding.
Okay. So beyond the tech and speed, it sounds like there are whole communities, different ways people engage with RC, these subcultures the sources mentioned.
Absolutely. It's not just one thing. People get into it for totally different reasons. One really big one is called bashing.
Bashing.
Yeah.
Sounds destructive.
It kind of is.
Well.
The sources almost describe it as destruction as art. You take these super tough trucks like a Traxxas X-Max or an RRMA, Creighton 8S, really beefy things, and you just send it.
Send it.
Yeah, like huge jumps, crazy flips, pushing it way beyond sensible limits, seeing what it can survive. There's a big adrenaline factor.
Okay.
And then often the fun is fixing it up, making it stronger, and sharing the videos online. You see tons of send it fails, but also amazing saves. It's got a big social media presence.
Right. I think I've seen some of those clips. Okay, so that's one extreme controlled chaos. What about the more organized side?
That's where competitions come in. And there's a ton of variety there, too, showcasing real skill.
Like racing?
Yep, serious racing. The IFMR World Championships, for instance, that's the big international governing body. Their 1.8 scale nitro buggy races are a huge deal. High speed, technical tracks.
Nitro buggies. So the fuel ones are still around in racing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then you've got rock crawling, totally different pace. Specialized rigs, super articulated suspension, trying to navigate impossible-looking obstacle courses. Think Ultra 4 RC series.
Wow. Precision driving?
Totally. And then there's drifting, RC drift cars, trying to get those perfect controlled slides, amazing angles, realistic tire smoke effects sometimes. Manufacturers like Yokomo make specialized chassis just for drifting. It's very technical, very stylish.
Okay, so bashing, racing, crawling, drifting. What else?
Then you have the high-end scale modeling side. This is where realism goes off the charts. And the price tags, too.
How high are we talking?
Sources mention models costing like $20,000 or even more.
20,000 for an RC?
Yep. Think incredible scale RC jets with actual miniature turbine engines, sound effects, afterburners. Looks and sounds just like the real thing. Skymaster F-16s are mentioned.
That's insane.
Or highly detailed scale helicopters like the Align TRX